Things are heating up this week as we delve into our first day of Spring, James, and also heats of both the Spring Gift as well as the Spring Maiden.
Oh, look, really looking forward to these races coming up. But before that, Leia, there's a dog that I really want to talk about that's going absolutely fantastically at the moment, Stanger Moose.
He is, and I'm actually not allowed to say anything, so I think best for me to not touch on him too much, but he has had 5 wins in a row and comes up in a free-for-all event this Friday at Mandurah, race 7 at number 7.
Absolutely right. The trainer, Morgan Turner, has barred you from talking
and his
up...
partner, Karis.
Yeah, talking up their dogs. So I'll have to do it for you and on their behalf as well. You're right, Stanger Moose, 5 in a row now, absolutely flying. Always been a really handy chaser, but over the last month or so has taken his racing to the next level. Last start ran a personal best time, 22:31. In fact, we might have a look at that race now. This is Stanger Moose from box 2, beginning well and breaks near the front. He does take a few strides to really pick up his rating here, but when he does, he is off and away, leaves the pack in the dust and is unchallenged for the rest of the race. He's racing absolutely supremely at the moment, Stanger Moose. And as you mentioned, Leia heads into another free-to-all this Friday night.
And speaking of this Friday night and consecutive wins, we've got 2 other runners that we've noticed, James, come up for a few consecutive wins themselves. Picket
Fences, Leia. The Picket Fences are on the line this Friday night. Not just Stanger Moose, we've also got City Manelli has won his past 4 starts. Lance Sunrise has won his past 3.
Was that sort of a reference to the Like a Sunrise
Like
ad?
a Sunrise, yeah. That's the one. Good, I'm glad you picked up on that. City Manelli heading into race 9, a 405 metre event layer.
Yes, and comes up against Momentum, drawn out of box 1. Haven't seen this greyhound for a little while, has had about a month off, so I think it'll be a contest to see who leads.
Momentum had a great start to his career, 5 wins from 8 starts. Another danger dog in this race, Monolly Manelli, form line on this dog, absolutely superb kennel mate of City Manelli. City Manelli, of course, has won 5 of 7 starts. The only 2 times he hasn't won, he's run second. So
good record.
You can't really ask much better for that. But it's certainly going to be tested here on Friday night. And this other race, Lance Sunrise, goes into race 3 over the 302 metre journey. Does get box 1 here, but comes up against Trent Manelli, another handy dog on the up. So those winning streaks are on the line here and in danger. I think Stanger Moose, if I had to make a prediction, Stanger Moose wouldn't back against him, but those other 2 are up for grabs.
Well, I think I'm leaning towards City Manelli. I think has a really, really good chance. He has clocked best of nights a couple of times, so I'm leaning towards City Manelli.
What about Dude Food, Leia? That kicks off at Mandurah tomorrow night.
It does for the month of September, every Thursday night. Get around Dude Food. It's so successful here at Cannington, so we're bringing it down to the Mandurah folks.
To Cannington on Saturday night, Leia. We've got heats of the Spring Gift, another good series coming up here.
It is, and Steve Withers mentioned a couple of weeks ago that if Tommy has been pulling up well after races, he would be trying to defend his title in the Spring Gift. And he comes up in Heat 2, but we'll take a look at Heat 1 first. Sarong takes on Sunset Piper. It's almost a repeat of the Peter Thomas final, James.
Yeah, of course, Sunset Piper successful in the Peter Thomas, winning at big odds there. Got to be considered again for this race. Is a good dog. Not a dog I can ever get in sync with in terms of getting on at the right time with this greyhound. Sarong, I think, will rebound here. Has the inside draw. A dog that I'm really interested to see how he performs is Trajectory. Of course, we saw this greyhound racing really well earlier in the year and won the Group 3 Perth Cup Consolation. Form since then hasn't been good. Spent a bit of time off track. Leia, you were able to get a bit more information about this greyhound.
I did. I had a chat to Jodie Jennings, the owner of Trajectory, and she mentioned that he's working his way back into form after a serious stopper injury, and her parents, of course, trainers Christine and Dave Robartson, have rested him up well in order to keep him back on track and repair this injury.
Had a couple of runs back in August, bit of a stop-start comeback, but how are they thinking the dog's going to go on Saturday?
So this is what Jody said ahead of the heats. It's definitely going to take a few runs to get him back to his peak. Hopefully this week will be the week. He's a mad railer, so the inside draw suits him. And I will be there on the sideline yelling for our boy Speedy on Saturday.
All right.
Appropriate name.
It is an appropriate name. That's the first heat.
It is.
Second heat, Tommy Shelby.
Tommy Shelby goes head-to-head again with Sunset Toxic. Tommy is drawn perfectly out of box 8. He loves it here, and Sunset Toxic comes up with the lemon box.
So then the Lemon also in this race got the sugar, fine young up-and-coming chaser out of box 1. Maybe not quite up to this level yet, but certainly working his way towards there. As you mentioned, Tommy Shelby well suited out there in the wide draw. We saw Sunset Toxic a bit better performed last week from the inside draw, so we'll see how he goes out of the 5 this time round. Let's have a look at Tommy's run, because why not? Any chance to look at Tommy is a good one. This is his run from last week. Had to work a little bit harder this time round, didn't he, Leia? This is him from box 7. Has a couple of vacant boxes on the inside, and that helps him as he charges across, but he doesn't quite get to the lead here, and now he's got a problem because he is the meat in the sandwich. We're down the back straight now. Al J showing a bit of cheek, leading out the front here. Tommy is on his outside. LJ just drifts off the rail here, which pushes Tommy wide as they approach the turn, though. Tommy says enough is enough, and he is off and around. LJ seizes control of the race. He gets clear, and he's well away. Sunset Toxic, the runner-up, is never going to catch him. From wide draw again is Tommy. Every race he goes into, he's going to be favoured, isn't he?
He's got that race sense, James. He's a smart chaser, and I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best, greyhound going around in WA at the moment, or for that period of time. Yes, in the nation. So I think all his race abilities does show why that is so.
Indeed, can win it when things don't go his way. So that's Tommy Shelby going around again. Favourite for that Spring Gift Series. We've got racing at Cannington tonight, Leia, the Wednesday night program. How many races we got on the card?
12.
12 races, okay. And you've got a very keen interest in one of those races, don't you?
I do, and it is the Spring Maiden Classic. Well, the heats of... In particularly, James, Heat 2.
Heat 2, why is that? What's happening in Heat 2?
Because after a bit of a wait, my greyhound, Panama Pepper, is finally racing.
Indeed, going around for his first race start. It's about time, Leia. This greyhound qualified, a couple of months ago, it seems like now, finally getting a run here in the Spring Maiden Classic.
Well, as I've mentioned previously, that I'm part ownership with the Harders as well as the Withers, who own Tommy Shelby. And I've been on track watching Pepper trial, taking him around, and I have said to Mike, when is Pepper going to race? We're waiting, and he goes, oh, don't worry, Leia. Steve did this with Tommy. So it's just what he does, gets them warmed up on the track, gets them that experience. So, I mean, if he did it with Tommy and Tommy's turned out the way he is, I'm hoping that Pepper's another Tommy.
Similar result, yeah. There. You must be excited, nervous, a whole bunch of feelings, I imagine, going into this.
Very nervous. I will be on track tonight as well as the other owners, so we're very much looking forward to that. But I woke up with the jitters, the first race jitters.
What's the feeling, though? You must be somewhat confident with this dog?
Yes, I mean, I feel like I have a bit of a bias.
Take your owner's cap on.
Form
goggles on. How are we thinking the dog's going to go?
I think he's drawn really nicely on the inside here, so the draw will definitely help. I've had a look at the field, and John Carmody's got a good-looking dog in there. Flamenco Manelli jumps out of box 1, so it is a tough field, but I think he should be able to make his way into the final.
All right. You're not going to have him, your own dog, as your best bet. So what is your best bet for tonight?
My best bet, a greyhound we haven't talked about in a little while, James Einsteinium, comes up in race 6, drawn the Cherry, and he loves it from here, undefeated from the inside, even though he's only had the 2 runs, but steps down to the 380 and has a really good record here. 8 starts, 4 wins and 2 seconds. So I think dropping down with the draw, everything's going in his favour.
My boy, Einsteinium. Let's see if he can get back in the winner's circle there. All right, my best bet tonight, I'm going for Flamenco Manelli to beat the Panama Pepper. No, I'm not really. I'm not really. I'm heading towards race 8, number 5, Mambo Manelli. Now, this greyhound ran a really quick trial time about a week and a half ago. 29.65, is coming back off a bit of a break here. Different in a race than a trial, of course. You've got other dogs to get around, certainly from the Lemon, but this dog always thereabouts. The quickest dog in the race by far. Can begin, and if he does happen to get a clear look at this, he should be going on to win this. So.
Did you say Mambo jumping out of box 5?
Yeah, Mambo.
So Mambo number 5.
How's the dance go?
I'm actually not sure, but I think David Hobby, David Hobby might know.
Well aware of it. Anyway, Mambo number 5 in race 8 tonight.
And a race 6, number 1, Einsteinium for me. And I think that's all we've got for today's show, James. We hope to see you on track.